Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire, no more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words, stop stalling in the doorway, and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel? I can't lie, I'm mesmerized by these lines. I'm so high, I can't lie, I'm mesmerized by these lines. I'm so high, I can't lie, I'm mesmerized by these lines. I'm so high, I can't lie, I'm mesmerized by these lines. I'm so high, I can't lie, I'm mesmerized by these lines. I'm so high. I'm so
what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for. Now which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for.
Dig it?
Only come out at night.
No one is See you on the other side. Stay alive. Stay alive. I got to keep it together. Keep it together. See you on the other side. Stay alive. Stay alive. I got to keep it together. Keep it together. I got to keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together.
we'd like to make sure. Phil Shane alongside Matteo Bonetti, and as we get set for action, Costa Rica impressive in their performance against the Yanks, but tonight might be more difficult even if they are at home. The national anthem's just about ready to get underway. Keylor Navas and Memo Ochoa, two icons in their own right, both being put to the test today. Mark Geiger leading an MLS crew as the officials, and now time for the national anthem. Guillermo Memo Ochoa, two Dos Santoses in the starting lineup today for Mexico, and they're the man to worry about. Irving Lozano now on the other side. Brian Ruiz, the playmaker for Costa Rica. Such a stellar performance a few days ago. Can they repeat it? Taking a look at our starting lineups. Juan Carlos Osorio for Mexico, going with Gio Dos Santos and Raul Jimenez up front. Alvarez and Lozano on the flanks. Guardado. Keep an eye on Moreno, Pereira, Reyes, and Dos Santos with Memo Ochoa on the back.
This is a sensational save. The way that ball was coming towards him, so much velocity, just gets enough to usher it above.
Trying to control in the turn, Celso Borges, and he does. Slam to the near side. Gamboa with some space. Ureña, a burst of speed, and he's able to get around Moreno, cutting back. Deceptive speed. I have a feeling even some Earthquake fans surprised by the San Jose speedster. Now out the other way. Calvo looking for an opening. Jimenez thought about it. Gio back heels. The ball blasted, but straight off a Costa. And there's Juan dos Santos. Jonathan.
This Mexican formation, when they are in possession, does turn into more of a back three with Reyes, Pereira, and Moreno. They want Edson Alvarez to be the one who gets forward more than anything on down that right side.
Gio retreats. Moreno looking long. Jimenez nods it down. Calvo low to the near post, but in perfect position, Keylor Navas.
Great hold-up play as well from Jimenez. That's what they need him for, playing with his back to goal. Perfect chest down for Irving Lozano, who keeps rising for the Mexican national team.
Ball taken off Oviedo's boot. Take a look at our AT&T starting lineups. Navas, of course, in nets. Waston, the big man, on the back line.
Was a nice first touch from Lozano, wasn't it? Just found that sliver of space on his right foot. Almost seemed like had his doubts about whether to take the shot originally.
And for Mexico, as they charge forward. Lift to the back post. Gio bursting a lung to get there. Goes off of his trail leg, though, and out. Goal kick. As you said, Lozano has been the exciting player on this Mexico side, but they really need someone like Jimenez to step forward and take some of the pressure off, share the load. And again, one of the first teams to qualify, but at least many Mexican fans still not convinced by this Mexican side. Out wide, Bolaños cuts to the inside, dispossessed. Actually, Oviedo curling behind. Guardado started as a wing, converted to a wing back, and now turning into a pretty good defensive midfielder with some Pirlo-like responsibilities. And Boa cuts to the inside, then weaves back out, tries to create an opening for the cross, but can't. He'll still have a throw in.
Ambitious attempt here, fell to him on his left foot. Didn't want to take the extra touch, thought that maybe get dispossessed. So why not go for an audacious try like that? Going to be a chance now for Osorio to experiment a little bit with this Mexican side. Of course, the World Cup spot confirmed. They still have a chance to break their Hex record of 22 points. PSV.
Costa Rica takes it away. Guzman looks to turn it upfield. Ruiz with a little flick. That drum beat in the background. One thing Mexico would love to do, if they can, take the Tico faithful out of this game. It's an interesting question, because even though they have qualified for the World Cup, Juan Carlos Osorio still under some pressure from the fans and the federation to prove that he is the guy to take them into Russia. Ochoa taking his time, as Costa Rica not really wanting to challenge too much. Laid back by Jimenez. Swing to the near side and unable to keep it in play. And as we mentioned, going on at the same
a refrigerarse, y vamos a ver si no lo tenían decidido ya. Se acerca ahora Manu Barreiro, vamos a ver, porque se pasean ahora los ayudantes de Lluís Carreras, y vamos a ver si alcanzamos a descubrir quiénes son los lanzadores, tanto por parte del Nasi de Tarragona como por parte del Lugo.
Y fíjate cómo
y ahí está Skriche,
a qué momento de sofisticación del fútbol hemos llegado, que claro, rápidamente aún no sabes qué jugadores del equipo rival van a lanzar, pero a los cancerberos ya les dan la información sobre, en caso de quien lance, dónde lo suelen llamar a lanzar. Con las bases de datos hoy en día, la información está rápida.
But well defended. Had a marker in front of him the entire time.
In swinger, edge of the 6. Numbers back, and Borges able to clear. Hauling it in, Guardado. He'll retreat and hold on. Right in front of the camera, Gallardo, but he could not keep it in. Into the center. Nice little touch by Guzman. Got away though. Waston. Calvo. BNSports.com for all of the latest. Share your thoughts on Twitter. Reina dropping back, tried to cut in on Reyes, but the ball falls and whistled up and over from long distance by Borges.
And if there is any player on Costa Rica you want taking that shot, it is Borges. As a rocket from distance. Just this time always sailing. You see Reina, when he's leading the line, he's not your prototypical target man that's going to play with his back to goal. He's constantly buzzing around, isn't he? Either wing. And allowing a lot of those midfielders to make those runs down the middle.
And sometimes, as the U.S. found to their detriment, he'll make those runs.
Yep.
Chicharito, Vela available on the bench. And obviously from a Mexican perspective, by qualifying early, they have the luxury of testing out a few new combinations. Officially, Costa Rica doesn't have it, and what a scene that is. Dos Santos being towered over by Kendall Waston. Cannot take qualification for granted, even if it is all but assured. And again, a draw would not be sufficient to clinch a spot, which would mean there's still that possibility of disaster in the final 2 match days. Although I don't think Oscar Ramirez is too troubled. Gio. Long switch as his brother cuts to the inside. Lozano weaves past the first. Guardado tries to return the ball, but cleared back to midfield. Reyes stepping forward. Strong challenge out of the back, and getting enough of the ball was Oviedo before he's taken down for the foul.
Mexico getting plenty of danger yet again from Irving Lozano. The quick feet to go by his marker causes a numerical advantage, and at the end is not able to get that return. He wanted that 1-2 played. Good look there at Oviedo, the attack-minded left wing back. Currently at Sunderland. Team that was relegated to the championship.
Alvarez taking his time getting this one back in place. 20 minutes in the book. Still no score. Neri a chance on goal, but for that early flurry against Memo Ochoa's net. Mexico not exactly making it easy, but Costa Rica cruises into the offensive zone. Ruiz gets around Gio. Waston thought about launching it, leaves it for Guzman. Jimenez. Again, Lozano from an angle, licking his lips as he looks to get to the goal line. Drops it back, just touched free by Costa.
It's brilliant again. Lozano showing that he can do whatever he wants in those one-on-one situations. He needs to get doubled up by Costa Rica when he has the ball.
Here's Borges, threaded for Ureña. Staying back Reyes, though. Earthquake striker into the middle, touch laid off Bolaños. He'll get another chance in the box, but it's cleared away by Reyes.
Pereira doing well to just push Ureña out wide. The narrow angle disappeared in the end for him.
Gamboa couldn't quite switch fields. Sent back in by Guzman. Bolaños, overhead clearance, but not far. Borges with the left-footed volley, but it whistles wide.
Decent spell there. In the end, Costa Rica just had to settle for these shots from distance. Borges trying to get it on the left foot, catches it right on the hop. I think the other way, though, I think the most dangerous facet of Mexico's attack is Lozano. When they find him with the ball, the defenders always expect him to cut inside, but they're show that he can easily just go to the outside and cross the ball in if needed.
A little too patient. Deflection falls for the Ticos. Ruiz caresses it wide. Gamboa into the middle, but there were numbers back. Pereira getting just a bit of help.
Andy and Ureña, man-marked sandwich between two defenders. I don't think there was any chance he would have gotten the final touch there. Again, watch out for Waston. Usually lines up at the near post. Big number 19.
Back into the middle on the set play. Waston didn't quite get enough of it. Flying in Guzman, and he's decked Guardado. It's going to be a foul and a free kick, but maybe a bit more. Put his body in front of the semi and paid the price, and there might have been some intentional contact at the beginning, but as Guzman was falling, I don't think he meant to, but caught the back of Guardado's head with the point of his elbow. Here you can see there might have been intent, but here it doesn't make it hurt any less. Talked about Oscar Ramirez being a tactician, and Carlos Osorio also famous for his attention to detail. Brought success back in his native Colombia with Atlético Nacional, but for Mexico, just getting to the World Cup is the bare minimum. Ochoa. Guardado back onto the field, although coming from the far side gives a chance for the Ticos on this near side. Gamboa back Ruiz. Ureña. Double team, but finds the open. Ruiz blasts it low, and Pereira parries it away. Nice touch on the far flank by Oviedo. Can't quite get the corner turned as the turf comes up. A corner kick.
Também espanhol.
Oh, you're out.
You're out.
Oh, that's no, come on.
Dale la cocina y dale algo dulce. Por favor. Pero señora, si no hay nada. Ay, mujer, ponte creativa. No sé cómo no va a haber una fruta, un terrón de azúcar, algo.
Pero es que no hay nada.
Ya, Rocío.
Y no me quedó nada del vuelto de los embutidos que me mandó a comprar.
Está bien, está bien. Cómprale algo a tu chiquillo.
Gracias.
Agradece, pa' mujer.
No acepta un niño ajeno, y menos si es el hijo de la empleada.
Ay, Gerardo.
To cook for a large bunch of people. And you know, our pan is designed with these high sides, so I can get this out beautifully, but I can make a huge
5 feet above playing surface. It was Thunderdome a little while ago. Venus and an epic back and forth.
Estreno mañana en 4.
Pues esto es un hummus a la castiza.
Parece un león.
Baja así la cabeza, exactamente. Parece un robot.
¿Qué hace en ese momento? ¿Qué hace cuando cambia?
Touch up the middle, like what caused so many problems against the U.S.
El matrimonio del Papa. No me puedo sentar aquí a
Podría haber pensado todas esas cosas antes de
live. What an amazing counterattack that was. The 2 touches right here to go by the Trinidad defenders as if they weren't even there.
Trinidad desperately struggling to get back in time, but could not.
Oh, Phil, 2 of the defenders who had a chance should have gotten a touch on the ball, and it's inexcusable.
Gabriel Torres, the goal scorer for Panama. That makes things interesting, to say the least. United States would be in 4th, which would, if it stayed there, be the play-in spot for the World Cup. And after today's action, interesting how it got there. Uzbekistan unable to score against Korea, and an injury time goal for Syria, grabbing one of the playoff spots. Australia had won the first match of the day, thought they were in to join Iran, but then Saudi Arabia knocking off Japan, who had already clinched a spot. So the Aussies drop to their 3rd spot. So it'll be Syria against Australia for the 5th Asian berth and the right to face the 4th North American team, and that might well be the United States. A few olays as Calvo with the step over. Early ball from Oviedo, but it didn't quite bend enough.
Just look at the roster of both Syria and Australia. MLS fans might recognize one of the Syrian strikers, Justin Merritt.
Merritt involved in Iraq's 1-0 victory. They'd already been eliminated, but their win over the UAE knocked them out of contention on the final match day. Laid off by Jono dos Santos. Gallardo getting forward, supporting Gio dos Santos. A little bit of a look away from Moreno. Jimenez swings it wide for Alvarez. Guardado stepping forward. Caresses for Jimenez, settles, drops. Gio the shot, but it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Mexico have used Jimenez constantly as that prototypical target man with his back to goal, just chesting it down for one of his teammates who constantly making the runs in behind him. And he's done well in that role. He's already set up a really good opportunity, but there just extended the right arm.
Ruiz bursting through the middle and just scrapes the top of the crossbar.
But again, that's been the theme. Costa Rica wasting no time going down the middle. Ruthless and incisive in their possession.
Speedier than he looks.
Good first touch there, and also his balance to stay on his feet after getting knocked from behind, and just couldn't compose himself in time to side foot this one. It's on his favored left foot. And he was trying to just curl it into one of the top corners, just got away from it. Golden chance again.
So heading to the final 3 minutes of regulation in this opening half. Here's how things would stand. Costa Rica would grab a point, as would Mexico. Panama leaping over the U.S. and Honduras, and Trinidad in the basement. Drop back Jimenez, trying to chest it home. Gio dos Santos, he gets it through Keylor Navas, and Mexico has taken the lead. He can be beaten.
Again, so much danger for Mexico coming down that right-hand side. And Keylor Navas just able to get the slightest touch onto it with his big glove. See the way it developed. All credit here. Jimenez just being able to poke it free. His pace, takes a look up. He sees that there is one option inside the box, and Dos Santos making that diagonal run, running towards Jimenez. Gets right in front of his marker and chests it in. It's not the most conventional goal, Phil, But what a ball here from Jimenez. He just scoops it up. Let's see where it comes off. It's off his chest, I think.
And in fact, it's Navas then batting it in.
Right there,
look at Gamboa. So
look at that run, Phil. The way
this will probably go down as an own goal.
Just gets in front of Gamboa at the final moment. A brilliant run here. Poacher's run from Dos Santos.
And it is an own goal against Christian Gamboa, but created by Jimenez and Dos Santos, two players that might not have gotten a chance tonight if Mexico had not already qualified. In fact, there was criticism in Mexico about calling up the MLS players, but maybe a little less after watching Gio there.
And with another win, mentioned it earlier, Mexico could have their best ever Hex performance.
Ball pops up. Cleats came out to try and win it back. Calvo, and Lozano is down and in pain, grabbing his ankle. The cleats were out, but it seemed to be unintentional. Mark Geiger saying play on, but this would be serious.
Oh, yep, the way goes in, the studs are up and do catch the outside of the ankle. Right there, that is very dangerous. Had that made contact on the plant foot, on the right foot, even then, could cause some serious damage. And you hope it's nothing serious. Lozano has been one of the most influential players for Mexico.
As you said, this is probably just a bit of a bone bruise, because it wasn't the plant foot, or it would have been uglier. The Ford halftime show with highlights and analysis coming up. Lozano, not in his nature to back away.
It doesn't get any of the ball. The boot just goes over the ball and right into the ankle.
Card, maybe even borderline red.
Yep. You call those orange sometimes, don't you?
Well, an orange slice into Lozano that time. As we now head to added. Oscar Ramirez getting a little bit of a talking to as a younger man, pretty good playmaker in his own right. Oh, Flaco, his nickname. I don't think they use that as much anymore. But he is turning into a bit of a genius as a boss. Although he'll need to work some magic at the half if Costa Rica is going to come back to win this one. And it's good to see Lozano walk off the field under his own power. To added time, and that'll probably add a couple more minutes. And Lozano back on the field. Wouldn't say the goal came against the run of play, but it was Costa Rica on the front foot. Just a lightning counter from Mexico after they stole the ball. Lifted back Gallardo. Launched back to midfield. And Lozano apparently back to full strength. Final two match days in CONCACAF. Costa Rica will host Honduras before going on the road to face Panama. So at least from a scheduling perspective, they would be favored in both, even should they lose here today. And Mexico with two more games to fine-tune before 2018. They'll be hosting Trinidad and then on the road in Honduras. So we're going to take a look at that. Panama against the U.S., even if at the moment they're in front, and then taking on Costa Rica. And then Honduras taking on the Ticos in Mexico, even in fourth place. Because of the draw, the United States in very good position to grab an automatic berth. In fact, they'd probably be favored to do so. For the Ticos, all but a mathematical lock at the moment. And that's going to do it for the opening half. The goal off of Gio's chest after the good work from Jimenez. net. Phil Shane, Matteo Bonetti with you, and as we take a look at what's going on for Costa Rica, they have to realize that they would be heavy favorites to clinch in the final two, but everyone, including Oscar Ramirez, would love to have the comfort of knowing they can already book their trip to Russia, but they'll need 2 goals in the second half to do it.
Absolutely, and Costa Rica may be deserving of a bit more than what they got in the first half, Phil. Did create chances, mostly from distance.
Did not appear to be any changes to either of these teams. Gamboa, Calvo, Costa, Waston, and Oviedo in front of Navas. Guzman and Borges anchoring the midfield. Bolaños and Ruiz, along with Ureña, taking care of the attack. Good look at Raúl Jiménez. Couldn't quite find his form at Atletico. Back to his scoring ways in Portugal. Ochoa in net for Mexico. Alvarez, Moreno, Pereira, Reyes, along with Gallardo patrolling the defense, with Dos Santos ×2 in the midfield with Guardado, Lozano, and Jimenez in the attack. Here is Bolaños. Sneaks it around, but just trickles across the goal line, and a goal kick for Memo. Although it looks like they're going to say it might have been deflected. So corner kick for the Ticos. Ochoa being harassed. This will swing in, cleared away nicely. Gallardo helping out. Tracking it down on the far side, Calvo. All the way back.
And Costa Rica, when they were in possession in the first half, you saw them always trying to go with those incisive passes down the middle, not wasting any time in the midfield. But in the end, mostly had to settle shots from distance. Only one really troubling, Memo Ochoa, the one in the first few minutes by Brian Ruiz.
Sliding over Costa, back to his goalkeeper. Question for Ramirez is, how hard do they want to push to try and get the equalizer? Swept into the middle by Guzman, but first to it was Lozano, who caused problems all first half, and again draws the attention of the Ticos, but Mark Geiger swallowing the whistle. Checking back and staying on, it's Ruiz. Moreno over in defense. Just gets enough of it.
The ball.
Chance for Lozano as he cuts over to the left, but caught on the wrong side of the line.
Just offside there. One of the first times we've seen Lozano make that final run as the most forward player for Mexico, and yeah, he just sneaked offside. Step past Francisco Calvo. Always a danger though with his pace though, isn't he, Lozano? 4 international goals and 21 caps. And he's still only 22 years old, rapidly improving.
Inside for Ruiz, a little bump from behind. Finally goes down, and a free kick for the Ticos. Jonah all the way back. Difficult clearance that the Ticos tried to take over. See it knocked away. They'll get another chance off the throw. Reina, not really a back to goal guy unless he can quickly spin into space. And again, Mexico staying passive for the most part. Too much in the midfield from Guzman. Reina spinning to the inside, but the reason Mexico stopped the flag was already up. Still probably doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Just offside. Big gap in between the two defenders, but they were perfectly in line with each other. And you mentioned it before, Reina is not that comfortable with his back to goal. That's exactly the kind of ball that he wants to be getting, that through ball into space where he can take off, run into defense.
Costa Rica looking to become the 9th team to qualify. New Zealand clinched the half berth earlier against the Solomon Islands. It was a draw for the Islanders, but they had fallen 6-1 in New Zealand in the first leg, so they are set up for a playoff spot. But it's CONCACAF against CONMEBOL, and again mentioned Syria against Australia, but two teams joining the brigade today, South Korea and Saudi Arabia, teams 3 and 4 from Asia. Russia, of course, is host. Brazil the first to qualify. Iran did so back in June. Japan did so on this first match day of this break, and then Mexico followed. Belgium, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia. And the Ticos 2 goals away from becoming the 9th team. Will this be one of them? But Bolaños couldn't bring it under control. Ticos looking to the bench. Two forwards there, Colindres and Ortiz. They do have some danger in the midfield. Venegas, Wallace, Azofeifa, Tejeda. This again, so calm. And we already saw earlier Vela and Hernandez among those available for Osorio, and yet kind of sense he'd like to look elsewhere, give those guys a break. There's also the argument, why not let them go back to their clubs? Why bring them to Costa Rica if you're not going to use them? Here's Ruiz. Caresses for Borges. Keeps it going for Bolaños. Help on the overlap. Blasted to the middle by Oviedo, but there's Ochoa to cover.
And finally getting those wing backs forward, creating the width, allowing all those runs in the center to finally have that ball coming into them. Vivo can put in a good cross as well. Plenty of aerial threats when they do get it wide. We haven't seen much of two fullbacks for Costa Rica getting wide. They've mostly developed most of their play down that middle channel.
Another pleasant night, a bit humid, but temperature in the upper 60s in San Jose. So no real worries for Mexico to suffer. Flipping it back the other way, Calvo. Ball cleared back to midfield. Calvo sends it back the other way. Another chance here at the top of the box, but a takedown. Lozano goes down. Calvo not even looking at the ref as he knows the card is coming.
Yep. And maybe that's the only way to take down Lozano. Calvo knows he can't deal with the pace. Just smashes right into him, lowers that shoulder right into his chest as Calvo knew that Lozano was just going to go around and beat him to the outside. It's been a difficult matchup for Calvo all day long.
I understand there's been some action in Panama City. We'll get to that in a moment, but first a free kick, and this is set up almost perfectly for Andres Guardado. Well, consider this research for Navas. The Sociedad man into the wall, lifted back towards Guardado, lets it run. Santos thought the run would be coming, and apologies. It looked like Diego Reyes
will try to make the run, but difficult to go around Kendall Waston.
Take a look, as we said, in Panama at the Romo Fernandez. Pressure here in the early going and trying to clear it away, but Colin Mitchell knocks it into his own net.
It's a touch he had to make, but certainly not into his own top corner. Mitchell knew the run was being made just behind him. And certainly not good news for the U.S. Hoping for that equalizer. U.S. fans watching on.
Bolaños will exit. Venegas checking in.
Bit of a quiet game for Christian Bolaños, the 33-year-old. Didn't see him as involved, making those usual mazy runs down the flank.
Another chance now for the Ticos. Give and go, but Venegas couldn't get to the end of it. Instead runs through Moreno and trips him up. Looks like he landed on the ball. Another substitute for the Ticos. Oviedo will exit. Rodney Wallace checks in. NYC midfielder, versatile. Pretty much play anywhere on the flanks. Eluding the tackle, Ruiz, but it pops up Mexico's way. Smart move. And upfield, but taken right back. Now Ruiz, the tricky little back heel. Spins over, near side Venegas. Wallace trying to bide his time, but going for glory. Venegas dribbling into a double team.
Great touch.
Jimenez thought about switching. The door seemed closed. Drives to the inside, off of a Costa and out for the corner.
Lovely first touch there from Raul Jimenez to settle it and go around his marker.
Almost made it through. Alvarez's backside perhaps saving a goal. Lifted in Guardado, still loose inside the 18. Seemed to get trapped under Moreno before it's finally cleared away. A little touch into space. Gallardo bursting his lungs to get back. Slide in and a beautiful tackle coming back. Alvarez
just needed a better option there. Umania was waiting for it to open up.
Nice from Wallace to try and win it back, but unable to do so, and Dos Santos heading upfield.
Venegas was just too far away for Umania to play that ball to him.
Jimenez drives to the inside, dishes wide. Guardado swept away, and a good tackle as it will stay in play. Well, things starting to heat up at the hour. 30 minutes left. Ruiz wide from Wallace. Inside Orenia, back to Ruiz. Just deflected away by Alvarez. But Rodney Wallace was in an offside position anyway.
And Ruiz moving over to this left side means he's more of a crosser. First half he was predominantly on the right, cutting into his favored left foot. No doubt about the offside. Wallace a clear step off.
Mexico looking to the bench again. Looking for a second goal as well. A tackle and tripping up Lozano, who ended up flying into Borges. And this is a little fortunate it wasn't a more serious injury. Looks like Mexico about ready to go to the bench again. Gallardo exits, or that's from the collision as Tecatito getting set. It will be Guardado who exits, first substitution for Mexico.
Another attack-minded player coming on for Guardado, who played deep in the midfield. And Tecatito, full of dribbling and technique. Attacking switch for Mexico, 1-0 up. Expect Dos Santos just to drop a bit deeper now. Fill that position vacated by Guardado.
Inside, but up and over the bar. Waston getting congratulations from Navas for a job well done. Under the Santos, just missing Jimenez. Jesus Manuel Corona, 24 years of age, making his 30th appearance. Into the center, cleared by Costa. Flying in Tecatito, but the whistle has already blown. Well, they do have the lead. I think Osorio satisfied from today.
Oh, it's a match where he's had to try out some of his new toys. A few injuries. No Herrera, Dueñas, Araujo, all injured.
Chance here on the break. 3v1. Driving to the inside. Met by Corona, but he drives it right into Keylor Navas.
On a 3-on-1, you expect that ball to go in. First time effort from Corona, didn't even want to take the extra touch. Just trying to caress this ball past Navas, and in the end it's not that difficult. It's not placed well enough here for Corona. He must do better from this position.
Navas was having to slide over.
First touch for him is a shot on goal.
But it didn't go in. The second touch. Dancing, trying to get around Wallace does, but good cover in the middle, and Wallace will launch it upfield. Wallace, a bit more patient, could have joined the U.S. national team, but loyal to his Tico roots. And it's gotten him to a World Cup, maybe a second. Jimenez in the middle, starting to disappear just a bit. Again wide. Jimenez with Corona on his inside now. Corona weaves to the flank, sneaks it into the middle. Down goes Jonas dos Santos after he collides with Guzman. Now, did it come off the arm first? Now, I'm not sure it hit either of their hands. Although maybe dangerous play as well, as the cleats came out regardless of free kick for Mexico just outside the area. Maybe 25, 26 yards out, and Gio measuring as we speak. Came up even a bit before Thiago Alcantara through the Barcelona system, and it took a while to mature. Gio skims it off the roof of the wall and out for the corner kick.
Kendall Waston just rising so much higher than everybody else. Absolute mammoth defender for Costa Rica. He's been pivotal today in a few of these aerial balls and always making himself a presence when Costa Rica are taking the corners themselves. Scored a few goals already this season for Vancouver Whitecaps.
Launched in, cleared away. As you said, at 6'5", he's kind of hard to miss. Wallace, can he get there? Nice from Jimenez, but a little too much of the bump. Let's take another look. Ooh. Cleats up and raking across Acosta's face. Although more concerned about the scoreboard at the moment, it seems, Acosta. Calvo back to midfield. Control Corona. Corona dragging three defenders with him, tries to cut past a fourth, but it gets away, and that's the only advantage that Navas needs. What his